Hello, we are live. So, welcome back, everyone. Today, I have an amazing speaker, Tammy D. Moore, and she is going to. We had a great conversation, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago about what she's doing in the world, her business footprints in Africa.
Yes, Footprints in Africa.
Footprints in Africa. She's done such amazing work, so I can't wait for her to tell you about it. But again, this is Digital Growth Live, where I interview women entrepreneurs to give them their voice, have them be seen and heard in this digital world. And so we are going to jump in and welcome Tammy. Yay!
Thank you, dear. It is a pleasure to be on your platform amongst your supporters, to be able to speak about a mission and vision, Footprints in Africa. That's very important to me. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you guys today.
Oh my God, thank you so much. And I know my audience is going to love you. And I know they're going to love your story. And I know they're going to love your company because I fell in love with you the last time we had our conversation. So today we're going to be talking about going the distance, which I felt is your mission. And in your organization, but also in your life, I got off the phone with you and I was so inspired by going the distance, like the distance of the journey, the distance that you have traveled to really bring this organization and this passion to life, and then everything that you've done in contribution to really help others. So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself and about your organization?
Yes, thank you once again. I'm Tammy Darmel Moore, the founder of Footprints in Africa. I'm the heartbeat behind its mission and vision. I am so passionate about this continent and the people of Africa. Back in 2019, I traveled to the motherland for the very first time. Although I've traveled to many places, I've actually been to 4 continents in about 30 countries. So I've been to a lot of places, but I saved the motherland, Africa, to be back in 2019. And I did that for a reason. I wanted to go to the motherland during the year of return. And so I did exactly that. It was a personal trip for me. Got to the motherland. That was the first place I'd taken my shoes off to assure that the soles of my feet literally touched the ground when I got there. I've never done that before, and I've been to many places. Got to the motherland, fell in love with the people, the continent, the culture, the different types of foods. I just fell in love with the place. Stayed there for 2 weeks in Ethiopia, which was the beginning of mankind, the beginning of all civilization, and people don't really know that. In my opinion, Ethiopia doesn't get the credit that it deserves. I'm very passionate about Ethiopia as a whole because it's the original Africa. We now know Africa to be dissected into 54 countries, but Ethiopia was the original Africa. And that's why it's near and dear to my heart. And during that trip, I didn't realize while I was there for those 2 weeks that I was actually sowing seeds to later come back home and actually found an organization called Footprints in Africa. I had no clue, none whatsoever. I was just taking in the moment, enjoying the experience, loving on the people, and in return being loved on. I was just in awe of the whole thing. And as I look back on it, I now realize they were in awe of me as well. So that took place in 2019. We get back to the States, and the plan is in February of 2020 to go back to Ethiopia to bring in my birthday, which is February the 15th, the day after Valentine's. So my thing is I'm going to actually bring in my birthday in Africa amongst my people. I'm going to get 2 for 1. I'm going to do some of the things that I didn't get to do while I was there the first visit, and plus celebrate being, in Africa during Black History Month and during my birthday. Well, I got a call here at home to help curate our very first African history program at the Upstate History Museum here in upstate South Carolina. We never had an exhibit for Black History Month. Wow. So when I got that call to actually help curate the very first show, because I do photography as well, I was very happy about it nonetheless, and appreciative they thought enough of me and the work that I put out here in the upstate to want me to be a part of such an opportunity, I would say. So, but the thing is, it was aligned with the same dates I was supposed to be back in Ethiopia. Therein lies the problem. So I called my friends back in Ethiopia and I said, hey, guys, I've gotten this opportunity to help curate our very first Black History Month exhibit, but I'm supposed to be there during these dates. And they nicely told me, my sister, you have to stay and do us proud. You have to represent us well. And you come later. So the plan was to do the exhibit, which was supposed to roll out on the 15th, the day of my birthday, and end May 24th. Well, lo and behold, COVID hit. COVID hit in March. March 18th, the state of South Carolina was shut down. And at that time, we didn't realize, in between those dates, what was taking place, why the tickets were so expensive to travel to Ethiopia. We later found out when the announcements rolled out that COVID was among us, a pandemic, a global pandemic, and we couldn't travel. So that later, made it where I couldn't travel to Ethiopia. And while I was there, I met a young girl who wanted the pair of shoes I had on my feet. I was privileged enough to spend some time in the bush for 3 days during my 2-week stint there. We were in the bush for 3 days, met some beautiful people. Most of them didn't have on any clothing. It was very nomadic, no sense of time. They told time by the sunset and the sunrise, literally like something you would see on TV.
What was your internal feeling when you got there? Because that's just like such a pivotal moment, right? I know, like, for someone who travels, to be in that essence and be in that journey, like,
Yes.
I just kind of want to like feel it, because I get excited just thinking about it.
Oh, when I got there, like I said, the first thing I did when I stepped off the airplane was to take my shoes off, because I realized the moment that I was actually being able to walk out, because for so long I had wondered what it would be like to travel to Africa. What are the people really like? What is the food like? Are they welcoming African Americans? You hear all these rumors about them feeling a way about Americans as a whole, and we being very privileged and spoiled. I mean, is this true? Are the things that I've learned in school actually true? Let me get with my people and see for myself. Let me ask the questions. Let me actually break bread with them. All those things you're wondering about, now I have the opportunity to actually walk it out. So to answer your question, when I arrived in the motherland, I knew that I was embarking upon an opportunity that I had dreamt about it for very long, and I was not going to let the opportunity slip through my fingers. I was going to soak up every moment of it. And I did exactly that, so much so that I brought it home. I brought it home right here in my heart, and I formed a nonprofit, and I still keep in touch with those individuals that I met during that trip. So yes, Africa is near and dear to my heart. I have a longing for that continent and for the people of Africa, and I vowed to actually make my mission and vision one of a lifetime, which is to aid those in Africa living in poverty-stricken communities. As simple as that. What they need doesn't cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
The money there goes very far. The money that we spend here in the States just for dinner can actually provide education for an individual. I mean, higher education. I'm not talking about elementary, middle school. I'm talking about a college degree. That's how far the money goes in Africa.
Yeah, I know when we were talking, I was really amazed about how far you said the money can go, and like the activities that you were doing, the planting, because I know you're kind of multifaceted. Like, you were starting to talk about your story about your souls for Africa. So I didn't wanted to cut you off there. So you can talk a little bit about that. But you were also talking about your gardening program and how the money that you provided went so far. It fed thousands
Yes,
of
exactly.
individuals. So chat a little bit more about that, and talk about your souls. Is it Souls
Sure.
for Africa?
Yeah, Souls for Africa. So
Yep.
as I was saying, we stayed 3 days in the bush while I was there for the 2 weeks. And while we were there, I noticed that a lot of individuals didn't have on any clothing. And it wasn't nothing to be shocked about, because they're in their element. It's their culture. Not that they are deprived of not having any clothing, I think they're most comfortable being free. And then you had some that had on African guards where they took just plain material and wrapped themselves in it. But for the most part, they ran about freely in human form with no clothing on. What I noticed was most people didn't have on any shoes. There were more footprints than there were shoe prints, which is how I came up with the name Footprints in Africa.
Love
That's how
that.
the name came about, in case you guys are wondering. And then it's twofold, because now I literally have footprints in Africa via my nonprofit, because we're making things happen throughout the motherland. So not only did the name come from me seeing so many footprints, it also speaks to what we're doing. We're leaving footprints in Africa. We're making a great impact amongst the motherland. So when I got back to the States, while I was there, a young girl asked for my shoes. I had on a pair of black Nike Air Max. And mind you, the van that I was riding on was probably like 4.5, 5 miles away from where we were actually located in the bush. So we would have to walk back to the van after our visit in the bush. And so I wasn't in a position to give my shoes to that little girl. She had on a pair of shoes, but her feet were protruding out of the shoes that she had on. And I felt bad about it. I felt bad that I have more than enough, plenty of stuff. My closet is overflowing with shoes, like most women. And so I felt bad that here I am telling the kid, no, you can't have my shoes, when I have ample pair of shoes. I have plenty. And she's not asking for candy. She's not asking for, a piece of cake. She's asking for shoes. So that bothered me. So when I get back to the States and I realize I'm not able to go back in February because now COVID has hit, because of the exhibit that I'm participating in to help curate the show. So I'm going to go back the first part of March. And then I realized, well, we're not able to go back at all because of this pandemic. So I told my friends, I said, you know what? Instead of me taking back one pair of shoes for this little girl, I'm going to take back as many pair of shoes as possible. And that way she's not the only person getting a pair of shoes. We're going to give shoes to many people as possible. So I rallied up my family members and my close friends. I called them. We shot text messages at each other, emails, and I told them, hey, this is what I want to do. If you got a pair gently used shoes, like new shoes, I want them. Nothing that you would be disgusted at wearing. Nothing that you consider trash and you want to throw away, because we're not giving that type of stuff to them.
Yeah.
And within 2 weeks, I had over 100 pair of shoes. Within 2 weeks, I didn't utilize social media. I strictly went to my family members and my friends and collected over 100 pair of shoes while we were sitting at home during this pandemic. Because I'm not one to sit still and hit my thumbs together. I'm a doer. I'm one of those people that believe in making things happen. So I utilized my time. And before you knew it, I was founding a nonprofit. I was, registering with the state. And I said, instead of just sitting here, let's take this thing a step further. And so here we are. Footprints in Africa was formed during a pandemic. We're headquartered in the States. We aid those in Africa. That in itself, it can be a challenge, but to do it during a pandemic, I must say it's to be commended. And I'm proud of the work we've done so far. And speaking of our gardens, you made mention of our life gardens in Kenya. We have a program called Life Gardens, which I love, love, love this project. We vowed to sponsor 12 schools in Kenya with one garden each. That's a total of 12 schools, 12 gardens. I was told that my 12 gardens would take a good year to make happen. And plus you're doing it during a pandemic. It's not a good idea. Well, don't tell me I can't do something.
That's what most women is. So many tell us, no, you can't. We're like, I got you.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna try my best to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So it won't be, it didn't happen because I didn't try. That won't be the reason why. So, I hit the ground running. I committed to the 12 gardens, 12 schools. And within 2 gardens, after we got 2 gardens, I sponsored the first one. Everybody kept saying, why are you sponsoring the gardens? Let supporters do that. You shouldn't be doing that. I said, well, I believe in leading by example. I can't ask someone to do something I'm not willing to do. So I sponsored the first garden through my LLC.
I love it.
The rest is history. People started, backing us up and sponsoring gardens. And Although we were told 1,500 people would be able to eat several meals a day from our 12 gardens, 2 gardens, we were feeding over 1,000 people. So I get on the horn. I say, hey, did I miss something? I thought you said that 12 gardens would feed 1,500. How am I feeding over 1,000 with 2 gardens? They said, oh, we forgot to mention to you, the word has gotten around here in Kenya that an American is sponsoring gardens at the schools. So because of you, the school attendance has increased.
Yeah.
3 times the amount. I didn't even put that in the equation of school attendance increasing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm going to feed these babies. I'm going to make sure they have nutritious meals to eat. They're going to have more than one. And so that way, when they go to school, they're learning about bioagriculture. They're learning tools that sustain them, because anything we do has to be impactful, sustainable, and measurable, period. Otherwise, there's no point in doing it. You know, I can't put them in a situation where they're always looking for someone to come and save the day. I want them to be able to take care of themselves. So the work we do here at Footprints in Africa assures that when we do a project, it's not just impactful, it's measurable and sustainable. And so with our life gardens, I'm proud to say that we closed out 2021 with 12 gardens at 12 schools in Kenya. We're feeding over 4,000 children. 4,000 children, when we were told it'd be 1,500, but it's 4,000. So these babies now know how to cultivate the land. And let me be very clear. As Africans, it's in their DNA to cultivate the land. They've been doing it for generations. That's nothing new. But when we came into the picture, we taught them how to do bioagriculture, how to plant more than enough during the season that's plentiful, as they say. And then when the drought rolls around, they have more than enough. But they were concerned about the excessive crop being spoiling over a period of time. And they're right, it will spoil. But we taught them how to take the excess amount, store some up for drought season, and then the remainder, you start a small business. So we now have entrepreneurs. We have individuals that know how to provide food for themselves. They take those same concepts back home to their parents. And now their parents are starting what we call kitchen gardens in their windowsills, you know? And we started with the schools because school-age children are easier to teach something different as opposed to adults.
Wow. Yeah.
And when I tell you it's working over and beyond measures. I absolutely love it. Today on our social media platforms, I shared where the school reached out to me. One of the schools reached out to me and said, not only do we have gardens here at school, we're now able to provide uniforms for free at our school because of these gardens.
Wow.
We're now able to feed the children without worrying about having enough for the next day. You get what I'm saying? And then two of the little girls, which you'll see in my Facebook comments and in my LinkedIn comments today, two of the little girls went over and beyond with their gardens. They were able to sew $30 back into their school because they've been doing so well with their business.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful. And I was crying because like there's something about your story that is just so inspirational and just so tangible. If we just, I can see your conviction and your passion, right? So when you are passionate and you are so connected to this vision, and you know it's not just about you, like it started maybe with one simple donation for one garden, which turned into another garden, and you were just starting with trying to feed them, but now you're feeding them. You're educating students from all over, right? You're not only educating them in just like the school system per se, but you're educating them on real life, on entrepreneurial skills. And you're impacting families. Like you're impacting the young for their future, and you're impacting the older generation to show that there is change possible. So like, I always get goosebumps when I talk to you. Literally from head to toe, I have goosebumps because I hear this concept of the ripple effect, right? Where you have this one motion and then it just spreads out, like if you're looking at water, and that's what you're doing, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
It's so
Thank you.
beautiful, and I want to make sure that I highlight like how grateful how grateful that I am that you're stepping into leadership the way you're doing, and then you're showcasing how leadership can really be done. Because
Thank
one thing you had said is with you had said for your first garden, people were like, why don't you have donors donate? And you were like, nobody's going to follow me if I'm not doing the work.
you.
Right. And that's something I see that a lot of people don't take on. Like real leaders are willing to get in the trenches, willing to do the work, willing to put themselves out there, willing to fail, willing to fall, and
Yes.
and keep on going. Right. And that's what
Yes.
for me, that's what a real leader is. And I just love that you're doing that. So thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. And for anyone that wants to get involved, if you want to sponsor a life garden, you can. To sponsor a life garden only takes $300 to sponsor the entire garden. That takes care of the school, the teaching. I was going to say the school teacher, but the teaching. We actually have a person on the ground that's actually teaching these biocultural gardening classes. So we have a teacher on the ground that teaches that aside from the classroom teacher. So we don't pull the classroom teacher in to teach this for us. So we have a partner on the ground that's actually teaching them the best way to go about gardening. So that's included in the 300. All the tools that you need for a garden, everything you can think of that you would need in order to make a garden happen. And then the seeds that comes with that for $300. And what I've seen people do is actually sponsor a garden in a loved one's name, in their business name. Because just think about it. If you have a loved one that's no longer here with us here on earth, if you leave a garden in their name in Africa, their legacy lives on forever. We're talking about a garden that keeps producing over and over again. And those kids, along with the teachers and those in the community, will never forget that those people in America made it possible for us to have food. They'll never forget that. And so that's an awesome way of leaving a legacy for your loved one, or even putting it in your business name or special entity that's, something that's near and dear to your heart. In addition to that, say you don't have $300 to sow into a garden at this time, but you love the mission and vision behind this whole thing. Well, $100 takes care of tools and seeds. And guess what? $10 takes care of a bag of seeds that will actually seed an entire garden.
Wow.
$10.
I love it. So there's so many different options. And I love that you can do it as a gift of love for somebody. And I'm marketing, and I always think of stories, right? And I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect for next month, which is February, right? So you have like the month of love in terms of Valentine's. I'm like, plant it with love, right?
Yes.
Because or seed it with love, right?
Exactly. So our tagline in that is, our tagline is going the distance for footprints in Africa. That's just who we are. This sums up a lot about us, going the distance. But for our life gardens in Kenya, we're harvesting change.
Love it.
Harvesting change. Yes.
Love it. Harvesting change. So for all my audience who's out there, do they just go to your website and that's where they could go and sponsor?
Yes, on our website, any of our social media platforms. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Okay. We're on so many different social media platforms, and we post daily. We also have a newsletter and a blog. So if you go to the website, that information is there. If you go to one of our social media platforms, the information is there. Or you guys can always reach out to me as well. You can shoot me an email or give me a call. I'm the one that's taking those phone calls. I'm the one that's responding to you. This is my baby. It's important to me. So I'm very hands-on. So although I do have a team, I'm very hands-on as to what takes place here at Footprints in Africa. So, awesome. And even if you have an idea, if you have something in mind that you feel will propel the mission and vision of Footprints in Africa to the next level, give me a call, shoot me an email. Let's carve out some time so that we can discuss what it is you have in mind.
I love it. And I think too, women in leadership, I feel like we're about collaboration, right? And we're about making that difference. And that's what you're doing. So, and I love that I love that you're saying, hey, if you have an idea, if you think we can up level, reach out to me, because that's how you continue to grow, right? and you get to
Exactly.
collaborate, and you can also receive support. There's so many different organizations out there doing so many different things, but if
Right.
you feel like you can partner, I mean, you just make that bridge stronger, right?
Totally agree. Totally agree. And keep in mind, I can't think of everything. And that's why it's good to get at the table and brainstorm and bounce things off one another, because you may have something in mind that I didn't even consider, and it automatically clicks. And a collaboration is beneficial for both parties.
Yeah, love it, love
People
it.
miss that part. It's beneficial for both parties.
So awesome. I try to keep this conversation around 30 minutes. Anything else that you want the audience to know? And then I want to ask you one or two questions afterwards.
Certainly. In addition to our life gardens, we in our Souls for Africa, our community shoe drive, we have this initiative called Promoting the Preservation of Skilled Craftsmanship in Africa. I'll say that again. Promoting the preservation of skilled craftsmanship in Africa. In doing so, we have an online store where we make available authentic African items to you guys. And it's twofold. So not only are you getting authentic African items from the comfort of your home by being on your tablet, your computer, your phone, you can shop, with those items right at hand in the comfort of your own home. So not only are you getting authentic African items, but you're preserving the craftsmanship of Africa. Because keep in mind, people can buy African inspired items all the time. China, India, Thailand. You see it so plentiful. You'll really see it next month during Black History Month, where they'll have these African inspired dashikis, dresses, and all these things. But I want you guys to know that we carry over 200 pieces on our website, handmade by African artisans, skilled craftsmen in Africa. We've come to love these individuals, like the earrings I have on. We call these solid brass.
I love it.
Motherland. We got these in Kenya. So we have a young lady that we buy a lot of our jewelry from. She's out of Kenya. These rings that I have on, and my bracelet, which is solid brass
Gorgeous.
and bone, solid brass and bone. And we have solid brass and horn. These items come from Kenya as well. And this dashiki I have on comes from Senegal. So if you're looking for beautiful art pieces, shoes from Egypt, shoes from Morocco, or Jordanian gowns, you name it, we've got over 200 pieces. And of course, we have black soap and shea butter. But again, over 200 pieces on our website. So when you buy from us, you're truly making a difference. We hear it a lot. It's kind of cliche. But when you buy from us, you're making sure that small independent business owners in Africa keep their doors open. They're able to provide for their families. Clothing, shelter, food, education is possible when you shop with us, because we continue to shop with them, which is how they keep their doors open. You get what I'm saying? So it's twofold.
I didn't even think I knew that the last time we chatted. And I'm like, oh Lord, here goes my credit card. I'm like, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Over 200 pieces on our website, and we're constantly getting things in all the time. And I'm proud to say that last year, 2021, that we bought from 32 small business owners in Africa. And some of them, we bought from over and over again. But we pride ourselves on keeping it authentic. It's easy to buy African inspired items. It's easy to find. It's cheaper. But that's counterintuitive to who we are as an organization. So we shop only with those in Africa, and we keep our store authentic. The only thing that's not authentically made in Africa is our brand t-shirts, our logo stuff. Otherwise, everything is from Africa. More than 95% of our website is from Africa.
Wow. That is so beautiful. I got to shout you out more. Definitely going to put you in connection with different people that are just popping in my mind.
Yes, please do. Please do.
That's awesome. All right. So thank you so much for talking about your business, your passion. I always like to talk a little bit too about self-care, because I find women entrepreneurs, we're doing a bajillion and one different things. And I was just texting with another woman entrepreneur. She's like killing in her business, but experienced burnout. Right. So I think self-care is so important. And I do a lot of different things for self-care. And I think bringing pleasure into your day is so important. So I'm curious, how do you stay connected and healthy? And when I say connected, connected to your mind, body, and soul, and how do you do that amongst your million projects that you're working on?
Good question. And I'm glad you asked because prayerfully this will help someone else. The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing.
Mhm.
Because it's easy to be pulled and tugged in different directions when you're working on certain projects because people will reach out to you and they mean well and they'll want you to do A, B, and C. But you know what the mission and vision is. You know what the focus is. Stay true to who you are and what you're doing. And if it doesn't align right in your spirit, it doesn't feel right in your spirit, don't do it. Don't feel that you have to compromise because you're in a nonprofit setting where you need the help of others. And sometimes you kind of guilt yourself of, well, I need their help, so I need to do A, B, and C. No.
I love it.
Keep the main thing the main thing. And if you stay on track with what you're supposed to be doing and stay focused, for lack of better words, he won't fail you. I'm just gonna sum it up like that. He won't fail you. If you
Yeah.
keep the main thing, you will not go, you will not go astray. Things will work out like they're supposed to work out. It's when we take on too much, it's when we start doing too much, when we get self in the middle, that things go awry.
Hmm. So true. And I love that. I think that message was directed to me. Because I tend to take on a lot of projects, but I've worked on creating boundaries and saying no and staying focused on
Exactly.
what I really want to do. And it's funny because I did a LinkedIn post, I think the other day, talking about comparison. And it's so easy to take a look at all different entrepreneurs and see what people are doing and say, oh, I want to try this. I want to try that. I want to try this. And then you lose sight of what you originally started on.
Exactly.
And you can do that from a marketing perspective
Mhm.
too. Like you see somebody's doing digital marketing on LinkedIn, somebody's doing on TikTok, on Instagram, and you're like, oh, I should try this. Oh, you should try this. Your message then becomes diluted and you're not really focused on one specific thing. So I love that point, like just stay focused. And the other thing was, I truly believe we're all here. We all have a specific, unique gift. Nobody else has our gift, right?
I
That's one of
agree.
the reasons too why I have this digital growth live. And I want to talk to as many different women from as many different industries, different backgrounds, different cultures, different experiences, right? Because we all have a gift. And by seeing different women in different industries, you're like, oh, okay, I can do this, but I also know like that's their gift and
Mhm.
my gift is my gift, right?
Exactly.
So so I think it's really important that you said like just focus on that and
Yeah.
know that if you have a gift, just keep on going, keep
Mhm.
on trying. Look what Tammy did. She was like, "Hey, if you have some ideas, reach out to me." There's support all around you. Our community, I mean, I was talking to another entrepreneur about this, but COVID has really given us the opportunity to network more
Yeah,
than we have ever been able
exactly.
to. Like
Exactly.
like I met Tammy through online and I was like, and we just started chatting. Like the opportunities to network are endless.
Endless, endless. And let me
Endless.
just say thank you. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Seriously, because we need a platform such as this to get the message out about the different gifts, the different talents, so we can continue to support one another, encourage one another, motivate and collaborate. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, because of individuals such as yourself, we do have a place in addition to what we're currently doing. Because after a while, you get burned out, or you will get burned out if you don't switch things up a bit. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So to
Yeah.
be able to have a fresh platform, a fresh audience, to be able to share your mission and vision with those that you may not have been able to speak with otherwise, that's a blessing. And to be able to get that done through another sister, it's the caveat. You
Yeah.
know, bless you. Thank you for that.
Thank you. I received that. Thank you. So you had 2 messages for me and almost crying twice for receiving that. Because Because sometimes I'll be honest, like I love creating content. I love doing marketing. And sometimes I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And then I go back to what you say, like,
Mhm.
what is my purpose? What is my focus? And really, I'm truly, I have this passion that more women need to be seen and heard because
Yeah.
we have so many talents, so many amazing things that we bring forth to corporate, to non-for-profit,
Mhm.
for your professional workplace. And a lot of times I feel like I've seen insanely smart
Yeah.
women just go to the wayside because they don't want to take up that space.
Yeah.
So I want women to be able to take up space and be supported in it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. So it was such a pleasure chatting with you. I can't wait to see what you do in 2022. I can't even believe we're
Yes.
here.
Yes.
So
Follow us closely. We have some amazing things rolling out in 2022. I'm excited.
I can't wait. So I followed you. I followed you personally on LinkedIn. I followed your organization, Footprints in Africa, on LinkedIn. So I can't wait to continue to see what you guys are doing
Thank
and
you.
maybe have you back on as a guest later on to give us
Yeah,
some
that'd be
updates.
great. That'd be great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Have a beautiful day and stay safe. Stay safe
Thank
out
you.
there.
You as well.